Have you ever walked through fire? Not literal flames, but the fire of life, the kind that burns your heart, that leaves scars on your soul, the fire of betrayal, the fire of grief, the fire of losing everything you once held dear. You might feel like you're standing alone in that fire, screaming for help while the world walks by. But God sees you. God knows the fire you're in. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Isaiah 43:2. This verse isn't just poetry, it's a promise. God didn't say if you walk through fire. He said when. Because the fire is guaranteed. Pain is part of the journey. But so is His presence. He says, I will be with you. Not watching from a distance, not waiting on the other side. With you, right there, in the middle of the flames. You don't have to be surrounded by flames to know what fire feels like. Fire looks like the hospital waiting room where you prayed for a miracle, and it never came. Fire looks like watching your marriage fall apart even though you begged God to save it. Fire feels like burying someone you love and wondering how to keep breathing. That kind of pain makes you question everything. You start to wonder, God, are you even here? Did you hear me? Why didn't you stop it? And still the flame burns. And still God whispers, I'm with you. You may not see Him right away, but He's there. In the strength that got you out of bed when you wanted to give up. In the friend who called just when you were about to break. In the quiet moments where you cried and somehow felt peace anyway. That's not coincidence. That's God showing up in the fire. He's not the God who keeps you from all pain. He's the God who never lets you walk through it alone. There are stories in the Bible where God showed up in the fire, literally, not just emotionally, not just spiritually, but physically. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. 3 young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused to bow to a king's false god. So they were thrown into a blazing furnace. The fire was so hot, the guards who threw them in died instantly. And yet, when the king looked into the flames, he jumped back and said, Didn't we throw 3 men into the fire? But I see 4, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods. Daniel 3:25. The fire didn't touch them. Their clothes weren't burned. They didn't even smell like smoke. Why? Because God stepped into the fire with them. The fire didn't go away, but they were not alone. And they walked out stronger, untouched, and with a testimony that shook a kingdom. Your fire may not be a furnace like theirs, but maybe it's financial pressure. Maybe it's heartbreak. Maybe it's that silent battle with anxiety, depression, or fear that nobody else sees. You smile in public, but cry in private. You encourage others while you're barely holding on. You pray, but wonder if your prayers are just bouncing off the ceiling. But God hears you. He sees what no one else sees. He knows the fire you're in, even the fire you don't talk about. And He's already there, not after the fire, in the fire, right in the middle of your worst days, right in the moments you felt forgotten. He hasn't abandoned you. He's holding you through it. Sometimes God doesn't remove the fire because the fire is shaping you, purifying you, preparing you for what's next. You think this fire is going to destroy you. But what if it's the very thing God is using to reveal who you really are? You may be walking through the fire right now. It might be quiet, hidden, internal, but it's still burning. And it's okay to feel weak. It's okay to cry. It's okay to not have it all together. Because you're not the one who has to win this battle. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, to trust Him, to surrender, even when you don't understand, even when it hurts, even when it takes longer than you expected. God is faithful. He's not done with you. He's not disappointed in you. He's not walking away. He is the God who steps into the fire with you. And when you come out on the other side, you won't even smell like smoke. Have you ever wondered, why didn't he stop it? He had the power. He could have called down angels. He could have spoken one word, and every soldier would have fallen to the ground. But he didn't. He stayed. He chose the pain. He let them mock him, so he could embrace those who've been mocked. He let them beat him, so he could heal those who've been broken. He was silent, so he could speak for you. He stood there when he could have walked away, and every drop of blood said the same thing. I love you. I love you. I love you. Do you know what's even more painful than the nails? Being abandoned. When the crowd shouted for Barabbas, he stood alone. When his friends ran away in fear, he stood alone. When the sky went dark, he cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" Even heaven felt silent, but he didn't stop. He carried the cross anyway, because love doesn't need applause. Love just keeps going. He did not endure the cross because you were perfect. He endured it because you are loved. He knew every sin, every failure, every scar, and still, he said, "This one is mine." So when you feel like you've gone too far, when shame tells you to stay away, when guilt tries to silence your prayers, remember this: he already paid for it. He endured it, so you wouldn't have to. Even now, in all your mistakes, in all your doubts, in the mess, in the silence, you are still chosen, still loved, still forgiven. Not because of what you've done, but because of who he is. You think you've fallen too far? He reaches further. You think you're too broken? He heals deeper. You think you don't deserve it? Grace was never about deserving. What he endured was not to remind you of how bad you are, but to remind you of how loved you are. The blood wasn't spilled in anger. It was poured in mercy. The cross wasn't punishment. It was rescue. So now, you don't have to hide. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to fix yourself first. Just come. Come broken. Come tired. Come scared. Come guilty. And you'll find arms wide open. That's the power of the cross. That's the power of love. He was mocked, so you'd know you're valued. He was beaten, so you could be healed. He was pierced, so your heart could be made whole. He gave everything for you. Now the question is, will you give him your heart? Type Amen if you believe he endured it all, just to call you his.